Hi, welcome to Hey Parents, Let's Chat. I am Jess Hunt, and I want to start off this video by having a quick apology for the sound of my voice. I am at the tail end of a cold, and I also want to apologize if I have to take a couple sips of water to ward off any coughing fits. Um, but I wanted to have a conversation today about it's Christmas time and we have an elf. We have an elf in our house. Some people do, some people don't. How can you do it the right way versus the wrong way? There are some people that are very much in the anti elf camp versus the we definitely have an elf camp. And for some reason, it's almost become a little bit controversial when it really shouldn't be. And so I just wanted to share my thoughts on the elf from my parenting perspective. I can even share it from my teacher perspective. Um, and I am just going to, for the purposes of full disclosure, share with people my thoughts and whether I have an elf in our house or not. But I wanted to start out with just my opinions. Um, First of all, I just feel like the elf concept really depends on how you implement it in your house and whether it's going to be a positive thing or a negative thing. And let me just start off by sharing just my parenting philosophies around the holidays. First of all, guys, it's stressful enough for us parents and for children um, without adding more stresses that an elf might cause. So, if an elf is causing stress in your house because the kids are now stressed out because they're feeling like somebody is watching them. And what if the elf notices them doing something bad? There's all of these things that we may not be thinking about as parents, but the kids are internalizing. So we have to just be mindful of whether the elf is causing happiness or causing strife. Um, Let me also I really feel like the holidays are stressful enough. We shouldn't be adding more stress onto them. Um, and whether we know it or not, if you are in a house that is celebrating Christmas and believes in Santa, they have enough stress that they're dealing with thinking about Santa and whether they're going to be on the naughty list or the nice list. Um, what if they did something that was a little bit inappropriate at school? Is Santa not going to like them anymore? Are they not going to get Christmas gifts? And whether we understand the impact of that or not, kids are thinking about these things. And so, um, for them to be having any added stress with the stress that they've already put on themselves, we just want to make sure that we're avoiding that. And I know that we parents, we're trying to also create like this incredibly perfect, great holiday experience for our children. And we're worrying about how we're going to shop, how we're going to budget for the extra money, how are we going to get all the shopping done, how are we going to pay for it. Am I getting the right the right gifts so that my kids are going to be super happy at Christmas time? Am I getting enough gifts? Am I getting too much? Like, we have that stress on ourselves. And perhaps our kids are feeling some of that tension in addition to what they're already stressed out about, making sure that they're on the nice list and not the naughty list. There's a lot of stress that happens right around the holidays, enough as it is, as far as I'm concerned. But then I also feel like there is that stress of if the elf is watching them, and then is the elf reporting to Santa? And if the elf is watching them, um, then the focus of the elf then becomes on, oh my gosh, the kids are now thinking, I have to behave so I don't get caught. When what you really want your kids to be focusing on is, I want to behave because it's the right thing to do. It's what mom and dad expect of me. And focusing a little bit on the intrinsic value of behaving. It feels good to do the right thing. It feels good to be successful. It doesn't feel good when I am misbehaving and getting in trouble or getting yelled at. Those things don't feel good. And so we as parents really want to encourage the intrinsic motivation for kids doing the right thing because it feels good and we have pride in ourselves when we do the right thing versus the extrinsic reward of um, I will get rewarded if I have a good behavior. And if there is an elf watching me, I want to make sure that I'm behaving in the right way because the elf is watching. And therefore, I might be getting extra really awesome gifts from Santa because he's going to report to Santa. So, like, there's all of that tied into it as well. Um, and I just feel like those messages are not fabulous for kids. It's not fabulous for their learning because you want them to be learning to do the right things for the right reasons, not for the wrong ones. And I feel like if you're going to have an elf in the house and you're having it be used as that tool, as a behavior management tool, you need to do the right thing because the elf is watching, Santa's going to know. I feel like those messages are sending the wrong messages to kids. Now, having said all of that, there are some families that have elves in their house, but it's more of an entertainment factor as opposed to like the elf is reporting your ongoings to Santa factor. Lots of families will have the elf and they'll be doing funny things, and it's just this funny thing. What's the elf doing now? What's the elf doing today? Because it's in different places in the house doing different things. And it becomes more of a fun entertainment thing as opposed to a we're watching you thing. And so if you have an elf and you're doing it purely for the entertainment, purely for the silliness of it, and purely just for the creativity and the fun, then awesome if that's something that you're into doing. Frankly, I don't know how you parents do it because, like, how do you come up with the ideas every day? And then what if you forget? Like, to me, that's just putting more stress on me as a parent, and I never wanted to do that. So we never had the elf in our house. And as a teacher, I refused to have it in the classroom, and I'm sure much to the dismay of many students, simply because I felt like it added to the anxiety. During the Christmas time, as a teacher, I liked to keep things as chill as possible, as structured as possible, and as normal as possible, so that the kids are sort of calmer in that sort of environment. There's enough craziness going around during the holiday season, and I tried to keep it calm and thoughtful for all of them. I don't even really like decorate or talk about Christmas or the holidays very much until closer to the end of December. Um, and so I like to keep it as calm as possible because I feel like the kids appreciate that sort of calmness. Whereas opposed to if I had an elf in the classroom, then it all of a sudden just becomes a bit of a more crazier environment because the kids get super excited and super like hyper focused on the elf as opposed to what I'm teaching them. So that's just from my teacher perspective. Now, from the parenting perspective, we never actually had an elf, but for the purposes of full disclosure, I am going to share we did have an elf. And his name is Ralphie. This elf is, my husband is like 53 right now. He's had this since childhood. And when we got married, Ralph came to live with us and joined our Christmas tradition. And as you can see, the poor guy, like, he only has one arm and his poor little forehead. We have dogs. And so, unfortunately, the poor guy has been through a lot in his decades of his life. But this is Ralphie, and Ralphie has been on our Christmas tree since we've been married. And he literally acts as an ornament. He doesn't change positions every day. and he just acts as an ornament, but he has become a family tradition for our tree. And then my mother-in-law was kind enough to get one for my son, and one for myself, and one for my daughter, and just so that we all have one. But these, they're just ornaments. They're so super cute. We have fun putting them on the Christmas tree every year. As a matter of fact, this year, my daughter, my daughter and son, they're hysterical with their relationship, and my daughter decided to take my son's and hide it in the bottom, in the inside of the Christmas tree, so nobody could see it. He was there, but he could not be seen by anyone. And then all the other ones were prominently put on top. She also has an ornament with her picture on it, proudly displayed center, right front and center, so that it's all about her and not about my son. So as you can see, our elves are just ornaments. They're just for fun. And I just hope that with whatever you do for the holidays, do what is fun, and a little bit less stressful for you as a parent, as well as for the kids. And just be thinking about the messages that could be perceived and internalized through whatever is going on in your house, whether you're elf, anti-elf, for whatever reasons. Make sure that you are doing things that promote positivity as opposed to some of those negative messages. And having said that, I hope that everyone has an amazing Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever holiday I might be missing. I hope that you guys all have amazing holidays with some really good family bonding. And just remember that while it can be super stressful for all of us, when you have those stressful moments, don't feel guilty. Just move on and do the very best positive parenting you can. Whether you are stressed out or in such good spirits, the emotional roller coaster happens for us as well as the children. So give everybody a tiny bit of grace and understanding, and have an amazing holiday season. So share your thoughts, because I'd love to know, what do you do with the elf in your house? Are you anti-elf? Are you pro-elf? How do you arrange it in your house? Share your thoughts at heyparentsletschat.com or anywhere you see this video, because the more we share, the more we learn, and the better parents we become. And I hope that you have found some entertainment as well as perhaps some value in this video. If you have, go ahead and hit subscribe. Join us at heyparentsletschat.com on Facebook, where we have lots of great conversations. I really do firmly believe that we learn from each other. We parents are the experts. And the more we share, the more we learn, and the better parents we become. And until next time, I appreciate you joining us. Thanks.